morning, YouTube family. Well, today I'm headed back over to El Dorado. I gotta dig a grave, and we loaded up a concrete box to put in this hole because they wanted a concrete box. But I just found out that the casket is an oversized casket, and our boxes ain't but so big, so we won't be able to use this box here. And in fact, they're gonna have to get the exact measurements of the casket, and then they'll have to get a hold of a specialty vault company. I think they mentioned Doric, because they make an oversized container. And so they're gonna get a hold of that company there and find out what the dimensions are on that outer burial container. That way I can dig it right for the right dimensions. You don't want the hole to be too small whenever they roll up with that massive box. I've seen them things, man, they've been really big. We had to get a front end loader from the county over Big Lake. And we were over in Big Lake. And they ordered one of them massive boxes. And we had to get the county had to come out there with their front end loader and unload it, stick it in the hole for us, because our little tractor wasn't going to pick that monstrosity up, man. Those things can be really big. Funny thing was that time in Big Lake that they ordered that big outer burial container. This was for a disinterment that was coming in from another city. So we got the grave dug, got the big box in the hole, and come time to bring the casket and put the casket in there, you could have put that casket in one of our boxes. That casket was not as oversized as they made it out to be. I was very disappointed with that, man. I could crawl around on either side of that casket inside that box. It was that outrageously overestimated or underestimated. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. Everybody was pretty hot over that. But it was an out-of-town funeral home that made all those arrangements and everything. So really, that was all on them. But oh well, you live and you learn. All right, check this out. The plot thickens. Okay, I was mentioning that the family has ordered an oversized box, and it's gonna go here. But okay, when the boss was giving me the dimensions on the container to dig, he was saying that to dig the grave, we'll need to put 8.5 foot to make the grave 8.5 foot, because it's an oversized container. And between that curve and that curve there, it's only 8 foot 1 inch. And more than likely, you're going to have a couple inches of overpour underneath the earth here and here. So really, 8 foot 1 inch, knock down 4 inches, give or take. Now we could probably get the whole 8 foot 1 inch, but still, that container is still going to be too long. So boss is gonna call him, see what we got to do, get this figured out. But this is where I'm gonna be digging it, right there. All right, guys. All right, family, change of plans. What we're gonna do now is we are not gonna use a container at all. The family, because of the limitation of the curbs and not being able to make the grave long enough to accommodate an oversized container, that we're just going to go without a container. Not going to use one at all, which, that works fine for me. That works just fine for me. I know when I was talking about it earlier, about maybe there being some overpour here, this is what I'm talking about. Is whenever they pour these curbs right here, there's always some overpour that kind of cuts into the length of your grave here, is what I'm getting at. Especially whenever it's tight. Like if you have just enough room between your curb and your curb over there to fit a container in that big container that we were contemplating bringing in here, it wouldn't have went because this plot isn't long enough because of the curbs. So they decided to go without any kind of container, and it'll just be the casket. So that's what we're gonna do. Now here in a bit, I'm gonna take that tractor and haul that dirt off there. I'm gonna haul probably four or five loads, and possibly leave the dirt pile right there, because whenever we set up, I'm just going to set everything up either going back that a ways or back that a ways, maybe because of the flatness of the ground right there. But we could get some chairs in there, it'll be all right. I didn't want to put the dirt on that rock though, just because, you know. So that's okay right there. All right guys, let's get this dirt hauled off. Alright folks, I believe that's as far as I'm going to go with this one, because I believe when I'm running this tent, this middle bow is going to be, if I was just to leave the frame sitting here, that bow would be up on that headstone like right there, so I don't want to leave that like that. So I would just as soon leave everything apart in here. That way tomorrow when I come, I can just throw everything together, no problem. But my deal is with these curbs, how these curbs are all offset. See, I'm gonna have one stake here, one here, and then on back this way is a little bit, it's gonna be where this dang curb is right here. So I'm gonna have to fandangle it over this headstone right here, run everything back that a ways, have the chairs right here on their lot. So that'll work just fine, but that's what I'm gonna do. All right, fellas, y'all have a great day.